Welcome to the platform Navigator. This video is all about manage. So you have successfully scaled your platform. Now new challenges emerge. And the question arises, how do you manage a successful platform? And if you look at the challenges of a successful or a platform with a certain gravity, then there are basically 4 types of aspects we address with the Navigator. First and foremost, you have to continue to innovate. Second, you also have to be aware and defend your existing platform. So innovate is a tactic to sustain in business, but also there are defensive strategies which we see in the market. A second core aspect beyond innovate and defend the platform is maintain network effects. So in essence, quality management, you have to see that things keep running and you maintain the high quality and trust you had before. Last but not least, you have to manage and monitor your performance and carefully observe in which direction your performance is going and where and how to improve. Let's jump into it. Innovate the platform is about different strategies we see in the market as of today. First of all, we see a lot of platforms who really continue to improve the customer journey. Airbnb, for example, started with a narrow experience and then broadened it up, brought in insurance, photo services, so really extended its features and functionality across the customer journey. Imitate to innovate, a very important success pattern. A lot of established players in traditional industries refrain from imitating competition. It's not seen as an ethical or appropriate move. But in the platform game, it's really essential to look and monitor your opponents carefully and then imitate what is successful in the market. Last but not least, a lot of platforms open up. Once again, think about Airbnb. They have opened up APIs. So other software developers could join in and provide management software so that you can easily manage your bookings, not only via the Airbnb software, but through different third-party apps. So open up for co-innovation is what we see a lot if platforms become successful. A second core domain of norm strategies in the phase manage is defend the platform and weaken rivals. Weaken rivals is really that you think about your opponents, enter their market early, or even block them. There have been platform players which have blocked rivals. API codes were not possible anymore. Rivals could not access the platform anymore. Weaken rivals. Acquire early is about seeing opponents rise, think Facebook and Instagram, and buying, or WhatsApp, and buying them early. So buy competitors, emerging competitors early. Last but not least, you should be aware a lot of platforms really embark and establish new business practices. Also, they have the tendency to become a monopoly, and this can create friction with regulators. So you early on have to think about regulators and how to manage the regulator and approach regulators proactively. There's a second domain of practices we see and tactics we see with established platform companies. And this is all about maintaining network effects, so keeping the quality and managing performance. So what do companies do? What do they have to fear in order to keep their quality? First and foremost, if you become successful as a platform, most often there's fraud. Think Amazon, think PayPal, there are these scam emails. You have to protect your platform and your customers. Prevent fraud. Next, with more and more buyers and suppliers, platforms become complex. Think Amazon. If you enter a search term, hundreds of results appear. You can get lost. This can create friction and dissatisfaction. So Amazon invested a lot of money in assuring that products are comparable and that you still have transparency even in a large and ever-growing platform. Also, you have to think about data. As a platform company, often you own and possess a lot of customer data, and you have to be careful, you have to protect yourself, be aware that you are a highly attractive target to hackers. Last but not least, you have to monitor performance. You have to monitor and manage performance. And be careful, you have to choose the right KPIs and you have to have the right mindset in monitoring platform businesses. They are not traditional pipeline businesses, and platforms have to be monitored differently. First and foremost, you have to keep on tracking network effects. There are positive network effects. More users can come to the platforms, more transaction can be made, but there can also be negative network effects. Right? Think Uber. They had huge challenges. Drivers waiting too long, getting frustrated, leaving the Uber network, and they really had to measure waiting time for drivers because it became a core issue in their platform. Network effects were going down. They had even negative network effects in their platform. Second important aspect, if you monitor performance from inside to outside, think about Apple Swift. Apple Swift is a programming language which was introduced for the Apple iPhone to develop compelling apps. Why a new programming language? Well, it was not for Apple to be more efficient. It was for app developers to be more efficient. Right? So it's not about internal efficiency. Yes, that's important, but it's much more important that your ecosystem is happy, has a very modern programming language, can very effectively develop high-quality apps in a short amount of time. So think about your ecosystem, think outside and then inside. Don't forget your ecosystem. You have to have KPIs that are geared towards the ecosystem, its performance, its happiness, its effectiveness. Last but not least, it's about grow first, monetize second. So you really have to think about when to kick in and when to start monetization. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't track core financial metrics from day one on. This is very important. And you also for sure have to think about monetization. At some point in time, you need to monetize. But grow first, you need network effects, you need a solid user base, and then you start monetizing. Summing up, this video was all about manage. How do we manage a platform which already achieved a certain significance and maturity?